Imagine if you were given the opportunity to manage your favorite football team. What would your leadership style look like? How would you get the best out of your players? Would you try to control every decision and every tactic? Or would you trust your players' abilities to take ownership, adapt, and use their abilities to win the game? That's the true question of leadership.
Some mornings start with coffee and others with a good read. This is Brew and Review.
So this question of leadership was explored in a study done by Peral Davidovitz on job crafting, job performance, and empowering leadership. More specifically, how job crafting mediates the relationship between empowering leadership and job performance. Let's start by understanding what empowering leadership is in the first place. According to the study, empowering leadership is all about redistributing power. Instead of leaders taking all control, they push responsibilities and decision-making down to their employees. This way, they give them ownership and the freedom to shape their own work. I mean, if you're gonna make people work 45, 50-hour weeks, the least you can do is let them shape their own work. Let them do their work in their own way. Now, empowering leadership boils down into two simple dimensions: autonomy support and developmental support. With autonomy support, leaders are encouraged to create opportunities and motivate their players to act independently. This is done by delegating work, encouraging initiatives, trusting them to make decisions, and allowing them to make those decisions. So not only should you trust them, you should allow them. And not only should you allow them, you should trust them, because they do have the capacity to take initiative. The second dimension is developmental support. Here, leaders encourage growth and learning in players. And this is usually done by simple leadership tasks, like coaching, guiding players, modeling the right behavior, and providing constructive feedback. As a coach and a leader, you can't expect to control every single aspect of the game. It's a full 90 minutes, it stretches for too long, and it's too dynamic. Football is unpredictable, you never know what's gonna happen, so you can't expect to walk on the pitch as a coach and take control for the full 90 minutes. You need to trust your team. You need to trust that your captain can lead your players to victory. For you to be able to give players the freedom to make those type of decisions, you need to have equipped them with the ability to do so in the first place. And that's where developmental support comes in. So the paper then goes in to explain what job crafting is. And according to them, these are the physical or cognitive changes employees can make on their tasks and the cognitive or relational boundaries of their work. So it's what you can change physically and cognitively, as well as what surrounds you both cognitively and relationally at work. Now, they use something called the job demands resource model to explain how employees can craft their jobs. According to how I understand the job demands resource model from all I've read in terms of my notes and at school, I see it as a way for employees to balance their work. So it touches on two aspects. Your job demands are your challenges or pressures that you face at work, and your job resources are the tools, energies, and relationships that you can use at work. So it's a way for an employee to balance out their work and reduce the demands by leveraging on the job resources available to them. The paper proposes 4 ways for employees to craft their jobs. The first is increasing structural job resources. And this is basically pushing the physical boundaries of your work. Things like working from home. And how can football players do this? Football players can push the boundaries of their work by training at different facilities across the world. So not only should they train in their team training facility, they can have training at home, training in Brazil, training in France. Pushing the physical boundaries of your work can make it feel more meaningful and make you feel more in control of when and how you do your job. The second type of job crafting proposed is increasing social job resources. And this is done by developing more meaningful relationships at work by increasing your levels of interaction. So how do we see football players do this? We see them having dinners together. We see them training together. We see them playing FIFA together, engaging in different challenges on YouTube outside of their typical job. And that's how they increase social job resources, to ensure that there's chemistry outside of the pitch so that it translates to the chemistry on the pitch. The third type of crafting proposed is increasing challenging job demands. By seeking new challenges and opportunities, you develop new knowledge, abilities, and skills that promote to the well-being of your work life. So how do we see this on the football pitch? Think about attackers and how their main job is to make runs in the final third, right? That's what they're supposed to do. Attack, attack, attack. But imagine if they develop the skill to be able to defend. That makes them a more well-rounded player and makes them crucial to the overall success of the team. So by seeking out that new challenge of learning how to defend, this attacker has increased their skill set and made them a more vital part of the team. The last proposed type of job crafting is decreasing hindering job demands. By decreasing tasks and jobs that hinder the overall growth of your job, you increase the opportunity to perform well at the tasks that do contribute to the overall growth of your job. Players can do this by focusing less on training objectives that have nothing to do with the positions that they can fill. You don't want your attacker suddenly trying to train to be a goalkeeper. It has nothing with the position that they currently fill, nor does it have anything to do with the positions that they can fill. So reducing these tasks that have nothing to do with your job can increase performance because it allows you to focus on what's actually important, the tasks that do contribute to the growth of your job. Peral and Davidovitz then tie in something called the self-determination theory. This is a motivation theory that says people need three main things to stay motivated. That's autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Autonomy, like we said before, is your freedom of choice. Competence is the chance you get to improve or develop new skills, knowledge, or abilities. Relatedness ties into the meaningful connections that we build. So with empowering leaders providing autonomy support and developmental support, they promote motivation by allowing people to have autonomy, competence, and relatedness in their workplace. And this can be done via the 4 crafting behaviors that we previously discussed. Now, in their overall study, they did find that job crafting behaviors do in fact mediate the relationship between empowering leaders and job performance. They found that empowering leadership does in fact promote crafting behaviors, which then allows an increase in things like task performance and contextual performance. Task performance being those tasks that have everything to do with your job, and contextual performance being the tasks that apply outside of your job. So back to the question I asked you in the first place. Would you want to micromanage every move, or would you empower your players to shape their roles in the team? So the research is clear. Empowering leadership isn't just a leadership style, it's a strategy. It's a strategy that utilizes things like job crafting behaviors in order to increase performance in their organizations or teams. That's all I have for today's Brew and Review. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what crafting behaviors you think you want to adopt to make your work life a bit more manageable.